Hey guys, this is Dr. Aaron Ernst, host of the Ask Dr. Ernst Show here on News Talk 1110 WBT. I'm really excited you're joining us today. We're going to be talking about your bone strength and your bone health. Right now today, an estimated 10 million Americans are suffering with a diagnosis of osteoporosis. And maybe that's you. This is the age-related bone diseases that we tend to get as we get older. And I'm here to tell you that it is not an age-related disease. Recent research is actually showing that it has a lot to do with the foods that you're eating. For example, a diet high in processed foods, that's boxed items with barcodes or added chemicals, preservatives, even things like high sugars, fructose, corn solids, has been linked to an increased risk of osteoporosis. The reason for that is the more processed foods in your diet, the more acidic your body tends to be. And because calcium is a basic molecule, your body will actually sacrifice your bone health to keep your pH in balance. So when you eat a lot of processed foods, you become more acidic, the calcium gets sucked out of your bones to balance the acidity, and we suffer with having weakness in our bones as we get older. So it's not age-related, it's actually dietary-related. So the one thing we want to do to help you to get strong, healthy bones is to stop eating processed foods and to go with more real food. If you have some difficulty on determining what's processed and what's real, we have some information for you below so you can find out more about that. How about supplements? We all know that calcium is really good for our bone health, but did you know that some recent research has been done to show that if you take calcium by itself, you may actually be causing more osteoporosis? And again, the reason for that is it's very difficult to get calcium to go directly into a bone unless we have other vitamins and nutrients. So here's your bone strengthening protocol. We have to take some calcium, but we also need vitamin D3. That's what's going to get it out of your intestines when you swallow the pill and into your blood. Now we need vitamin K2 to take it from the blood and get it into the bone. We also need magnesium because magnesium is very important for the absorption process of calcium. So we want to make sure you're not just taking calcium by itself, but actually a whole cohort for your bone health. Calcium, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, and magnesium. Now here's the challenge. Most of you have probably never heard of vitamin K2, which means you're either not taking it or you're deficient in it. Vitamin K2 comes from natural food sources like grass-fed chicken, free grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, and also raw cheese. Gouda, by the way, is a really high source of K2. It's also found in fermented foods, things like kimchi and sauerkraut, and even some of the fermented beverages like Kavita and kombucha. So the challenge today is there is no K2 test. So you might be going out there going, how do I find out if I have this potentiality to have osteoporosis? Let me get my K2 tested, but it doesn't exist. You could go based off symptoms, but unfortunately, the symptoms of a K2 deficiency are diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and osteoporosis, which is what we're trying to avoid. So I'm going to give you today the greatest protocol you can ever do to rebuild your bones. And again, it's to cut out your processed foods, replace those with real foods, and make sure you're taking not just calcium on a daily basis, but vitamin D3, which helps the absorption into your blood, vitamin K2, which helps the absorption into the bone, and magnesium, which helps you to absorb your calcium as a whole. Thank you so much for joining us this week. And don't forget, every week we have health tips on WBT.com and also our radio show, which is Saturday at 3 p.m., the Ask Dr. Ernst Show, right here on News Talk 1110 WBT. Have a great week, and I can't wait to see you next week.